Hi, it's Natasha.
And Khalil.
And we are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 226th episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything important to us, you, the world, and nothing is off the table. This week, it is the actual last week of 2021, and we are discussing 21 end-of-year lessons. But before we dive deep into the subject, a couple of things to cover. First, please make sure you go to WokeNFree.com not only to listen to this episode, but you want to make sure you download the episode through the Podbean app. If you're able to do that, then you're able to put in your comments, and we can have a WokeNFree conversation every single week, every single Wednesday, so make sure you do that. Now, if you cannot download apps on whatever device you catch podcasts on for whatever reason, then please make sure you go to WokeNFree.com, go on the listen tab, and then you follow and subscribe to the show on the different platforms you're catching this on. So whether that's through iTunes or TuneIn or Stitcher, Google Play. If you're on our YouTube channel, please subscribe. SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora. It's a WokeNFree world, so make sure you do that. And of course, also on WokeNFree.com, you'll be able to click and subscribe to follow the show on Podbean itself. So make sure you do that. For social, you can always find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, LinkedIn, at WokeNFree. And then if you have 90 seconds, which you do, we're still dealing with COVID-19. Please go to WokeNFree.com, go in the listen tab, and make sure you pick a platform where you'd like to give us a review. We have fabulous reviews on iTunes. We could get more. Y'all know you want to do it. Have at it. Now I'm going to kick it to you.
All right. And I know the listeners want to hear this episode, so let's just start it right off then.
All right. So 21 end of year lessons. Lesson number 1. You are never prepared for the future. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think events are definitely hard to predict. And I like this saying by Mike Tyson, actually. He said, everybody has a plan until they're punched in the face.
Wow. Oh, that's incredible.
So that's a good way to think of it.
That is an incredible phrase, yeah.
So if you're shocked, everything goes out the window and now you're just reacting.
Oh, wow, yeah. I couldn't agree more. I think for us, there were so many different changes that happened this year. We had a baby. I lost a thyroid. I started a new job. Amongst all the other things that we've had happen. So, and I couldn't tell you that I was prepared for any of it, but I think at the end of the day, to your point, you live life and then you experience things and then you roll with the punches, and hopefully they aren't always in your face.
Yeah.
All right.
And lesson 2, it kind of relates to lesson 1. Adaptability is key.
So that's an actual really important point because as a Virgo and someone who loves to I grew up being a control freak. I've learned and I've actually just kind of declared it. I've told you about this as well. I've declared, I surrender. Here's my white flag to the universe. I am done being a control freak. I am done freaking out about how something's going to happen. Yes, I still will always be a planner. And no, I'm not just going to be lofty with I don't know what's going to happen. Absolutely not. But I cannot drive myself mad anymore. I surrender. And so in order to do that, you have to be flexible. So I agree. That's a great lesson to share.
Yeah. It's like I said, it relates to the last lesson. Mm-hmm. You should just be prepared to actually change your plan. That's kind of the adaptability part. Just be ready to change it and as it's needed.
That part. Okay. Now, lesson 3. You are stronger than you think you are.
Yeah, whatever you think your limit is probably much higher is what I think. I think one example is that when you're a parent, you learn that you can stay awake longer than you thought you could in the past.
Yes.
You might have thought you needed a certain amount of sleep, but once you're a parent, that changes.
Goes out the window.
And you thought your limit was much lower, but it's crazy how long you can stay awake.
It's incredible, actually. Great lesson there. I would say, after 2.5 days of labor, getting our beautiful son here, I didn't think I could suffer for as long as I did suffer, but to your point, whatever you think you can do, you can actually far exceed that. So know in your heart of hearts that there are no limits other than the ones you create in your mind, and even those are a falsehood. So just keep moving, keep pushing, and never give up on yourself or your dreams.
All right. And lesson 4 is don't sweat the small stuff.
That's a really important lesson this year because there's so many things that you could bicker and snipe at people for, whether it's your partner, whether it's a coworker, whether it's a loved one, a family member, a friend. But ultimately, is it going to make you happy? Is it going to make this thing we call life easier? No, it's just going to make you more miserable. So I concur. That's a really important lesson that I think got reiterated for us as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to ask yourself if it's worth it to react to any conflict that arises. Sometimes it's just best to walk away and focus on other problems that you might need to solve.
So just cuss them out in your head.
If that's what floats your boat and gets you off of it quicker.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
All right, I hope.
All right. Lesson number 5. The people around you matter.
Yeah, this is a common thing that people forget is the people you hang out with, they actually influence your thought process, which in turn influences your life. So again, an old saying is if you hang out with scraggly dogs, you're going to get fleas, right? It's like that. It does actually matter. You can't just say, well, I just hang out with them because they're fun, even though they're not helping me, further my career or any of my prospects in life. I just hang out with them because it's fun, but nah, you gotta realize it actually does control your life. It affects it.
I couldn't agree more. I think for me this year, it's been really critical to be able, because I think as a parent, I feel like our life is even more under microscope because people are asking for pictures. People want to know what's going on. So there's a lot of intrigue and inquiries into like our existence as human beings as well as parents, and a lot of judgment that comes with that. And so it's really important to have the people around you really be rock solid for you, really be a space of safeness and support and wellness. And if you can't achieve that with the people around you, then you're really, to your point, doing an injustice, because the part where you said they influence your thought, which then influences your life, that critical piece is where people say they underestimate the power that people have in their lives by being around you. So it's really critical. Even if you risk being lonely, be lonely. Then to have negative people or negative circumstances in your life, it doesn't make sense. You're going to ruin your life.
True. Lesson 6: remember to laugh.
Oh gosh, we've always had a wonderful repertoire of laughter, and put 17 plus years, I really don't recall times where we didn't laugh too much, even in our hardest of times, right? But I think more recently, especially after becoming parents, we've really indulged in just laughing at each other and at him. And it's really made life and like just waking up so much more exciting, because you're just like, what kind of tomfoolery are we going to experience for the day? And it's been crazy, but it's been also one of the most gratifying times. And I would say, laughing even on the hardest of days is really critical. Yeah.
Yeah. I think sometimes we just take everything so seriously, we forget to laugh about the amusing things.
Yes.
Even like the childish things, like your child making a fart or something.
Or a shard.
Yeah. They say as you're an adult, you're not supposed to laff at that type of humor, but I don't know. I think that's better than being groggy and grumpy.
Correct.
It's just,
absolutely.
If, it brings a smile to your face, fine. It's okay.
Listen, if you're shot with urine in the face, sometimes that's really funny.
Smart. Another way that you could laugh is just watch your favorite comedian. They can get you going too.
God, yeah.
They do specials and all those type of things. Go find it. Go look on the internet or your streaming platform.
Is that a nice, silent flowers to Dave Chappelle?
Silent flower,
giving him his flowers.
You can.
Okay, all right. Lesson number 7, time management is an art.
Yeah, so I think there's no one set way to actually perfectly manage your time, because there's these books that'll tell you how to do it, but I don't know. I think you have to craft it on your own and kind of see how does it fit into your life? What's the best ways to manage your time?
Absolutely.
So you might not be good with just like a calendar, or a desk calendar. Maybe you have to set alarms for yourself on your phone. I mean, it depends. Maybe you have to put up Post-it notes around the house and that'll remind you to do things, but you got to figure it out for yourself. I don't think there's a one way to do it, to be honest.
I love that advice. I love the advice of saying, hey, time management, it needs to be curated for you on an individualistic basis. Because, yeah, some people feel like unless they follow one regimen, they can't do it. But to your point, yeah, I personally have found my own personal time management is a culmination of a couple of things. It's having a calendar. It's definitely writing things out. It's definitely having, a board in front of you, having alarms. It's having time management apps. So it's a lot of different things, but I would say what I've learned is that you, even if you only want to do one thing at a time, especially becoming a parent, that is a really unlikely type of existence. You usually are doing 4 things at once. And so it's really easy to get stressed out. It's really easy to get overwhelmed and really exhausted. And so you got to laugh at yourself and give yourself grace, but understand that this is just like a part of the flow of adulting, right? Children have the luxury, I think, of being able to just do one thing for hours at a time, which is a beautiful thing. And I think children underestimate how wonderful they have it.
Yeah, that's true. Lesson 8, remember your goals.
Ooh, I'm really interested to hear what you have to say on that. I would say for me, that's been paramount because for me, having a kid didn't mean I have to give up on certain goals. I think you have to adjust your timelines for sure, but you also have to remember that you are still you before anything else. And yes, we walk around in this world with multiple identifiers. I am a mother, I am a woman, I am a daughter, I am a wife, I am a friend, I am right? All these different things that come after your name. But at the end of the day, your goals always matter, but you have to believe in them and you have to believe that you can achieve them. And then you actually have to put in actionable steps each and every single day of your life to be able to get closer to them.
Well, yeah, that last part is key about putting into actionable steps. That's very important.
Yeah.
So I think just your current actions, that needs to play a role in reaching your goals. So
yes.
See what you're doing currently and say, well, is this a step towards my goal? And if not, see how you can actually incorporate certain steps into your life that work towards your goal. So even if it's something like working out, you just say, all right, I'm going to try to do this once a day. So eventually it'll just be a habit and I can always do it and it won't even be a thing anymore.
Exactly.
I just go ahead and do it as a habit. So.
After 21 days, it becomes a habit. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. All right. Lesson number 9, being a parent means falling in love each and every day.
Well, yeah, enjoying time with your child, it's very rewarding. So it's a great experience. I mean, there's a lot of lessons learned. There's some heartbreak, but there's always joy, like watching your child light up when they see you.
Yes.
Laugh at you when you do certain actions, because that's what I love doing that with him, is getting him to laugh. And then once I find something that he finds funny, I'll keep doing it, and he'll giggle a lot. He'll do
creepy. It's awesome.
He'll do a double and a triple laugh in a row. It's pretty funny.
Absolutely.
So he's remembering one of the lessons to laugh. That's his lesson.
We teach him that every day. Well, he teaches us that because he's laughing every single day.
Yeah, he finds a lot of things funny.
He thinks life is hysterical.
He finds struggle funny as well.
He definitely does enjoy the struggle for others. Yeah,
if he sees your face struggling, then he's going to laugh at it.
Yeah, I think he thinks it's like some type of act you're doing, maybe.
Maybe.
But yeah, I would say, we've been lucky enough to share a deep bond and friendship and love and romance for over 17 years. But when you have a kid, it's like this other level of juicy warmth and love that you get to just dive into and never it never ends, right? You can start your day and end your day loving on your child and just feeling so blessed and happy to have this new life in your existence. And yes, we sound completely obsessed, and we are completely obsessed with him, as we should be, because it's his world. We just happen to live in it.
True.
And that is one of the best lessons that I've learned for this year.
Lesson 10, stay true to yourself.
Ooh, I'm excited to hear what you have to say on that one. I would say, yeah, I think that's a lesson that you can never repeat enough. I mean, if we said that for the next 50 years, I would say it's still not enough. Like, people need to understand authenticity is how you prevent the kind of feeling resentment against others, as well as making sure that this life is meaningful to you, that you wake up and you close your eyes every single day knowing that you did what you needed to do to make this worthwhile for your time. Because life is a choice, guys. We don't have to be here. People take their lives every single day. People unfortunately pass and are no longer with us every single day. So if you are blessed to wake up and have oxygen in your lungs and have the ability to breathe and live, then make sure that this is a life that's authentic to you and what that means for you, your happiness and how you define it, your success, how you define it, etc.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that you shouldn't let others decide what is best for you. Because oftentimes people are feared into doing stuff, but yeah, I think you know yourself best, so you need to do what's right for you. Don't just do something because you're scared or someone says you better do this or there's consequences. You know in your heart of hearts if what your decision about to make is something that you would really do. So, that's why I say stay true to yourself.
Absolutely. Okay, so then the next lesson I would say is, try to sleep when you need to sleep, because even if it's just an hour or 30 minutes, there's healing and there's processes that happen when you sleep. And if you don't sleep, then you're kind of derailing certain natural biological processes that need to happen, as well as you risk being run down and burn out in any aspect, whether you're talking about from a parenting perspective or your career. So, sleep when you can, be flexible to your point about how you sleep and make sure you don't do it, because as much as it is fun to say sleep is for the weak, you still need it every single day.
Yeah, you definitely need to sleep because that's when your body gets a chance to rejuvenate, and you get to do kind of like, I think you relieve a lot of your toxins as well. So, it's definitely a needed thing. So even if you only get a couple hours, you just got to make sure you do it. You're not in like a boot camp where you're supposed to be staying up 24/7. So just make sure you take the time out to go do that relaxation thing called sleep. That does a lot of other processes that are good for you and good for your health.
Absolutely.
Lesson 12. You are the final decision maker on your health.
Oh, that's a vital piece there. I would say, as someone who's gone through two major surgeries in a year, C-section and then my thyroid removal, it's really important to advocate for yourself. A lot of times, especially I can share as a Black woman, it feels very scary and very unsafe in medical situations in this country. I can't speak outside of the United States, but in this country, I have found that I have not felt safe and I have not felt protected, and that people try to sway you of the decisions that you need to make and or not entertain your pain when you say you're in pain. And so knowing that you are the final decision maker, that you legally can institute that for yourself as well as advocate for yourself. You can't control everything, but that at least can give you a little bit more solace as you go through certain medical situations in your life.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you know your body. So you have to advocate for it and then be comfortable with all the choices that you make for it. So, take care of your temple because as far as we know, this is the only body you have. So take care of it.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Lesson 13, never sacrifice your me time no matter what.
This is very hard, but it's definitely important because I think maintaining your sanity, it actually relates to how much fun and enjoyment you have.
Absolutely.
Because if you never get that time, you're always just like working.
Go.
You're on the go and it gets just kind of exhausting.
It's as if you live in New York 24/7.
Yeah, you gotta take some time out and reward yourself because then it makes you feel like you are actually accomplishing something in life. You're not just working 24/7. With no sight in the end.
Yeah. And I would also like to add to this that, like, I've heard from people, and it's really just a negative narrative that like I'll find me time later. And the problem with that is that there's always work to be done. If you think about it, everyone, you will die with things to be done. Your taxes will be undone. There will be things that need to be done in your home.
We have laundry.
You will have laundry. You may have even needed to use the bathroom, right? You will die not having accomplished everything.
That's true.
If you understand that, then you understand that there's no need to say, oh, I have to push this back, my me time, because I have things to do. You'll always have things to do. That's a
true.
nonsensical excuse. Take the time each and every day, even if it's 5 minutes, do it. You could play a handheld video game on the toilet, 5 minutes. If that's what you want to constitute as your me time, do it. I do recommend separating bathroom visits from me time. But for those who, if that's all you've got, then you've got to make sure that is the most enjoyable bathroom trip you've made. And you got to make sure you get it in, and you owe it to yourself, to your point, because you won't really have the energy or even the desire to have fun if you constantly are just on the go without any stop in sight.
Lesson 14. Concentrate on the things you want.
So this really hones into our course, which we put the link in every episode since we've had our course launch, on the law of attraction on listenable.com, or it's on listenable. I forget the URL, but you click on the link on WokeNFree.com and you'll be able to get to our course. And, so much of the law of attraction is that intentionality and that focus of what do you want, and focusing on what you're going to do to accomplish it, allowing the universe to deliver the results based on those things that you do. But you have to focus and hone in, and you cannot be focused on 1,000 different things at once. Focus, hone in, laser vision, get it going.
Yeah, I think thinking of the things you want is important. That's how those things come into fruition, actually. Mm-hmm. It's part of the law of attraction, like you're saying. But it's part of our course.
Yep.
So it's just, you got to keep this thing in mind as you live life. Don't forget.
Absolutely. Lesson 15, say I love you as much as possible.
I think it's very important to vocalize love. Not only is it appreciated on the reciprocating end, but I think it makes you feel great as well.
I like that you went there with that. I agree.
Yeah.
You're like, can someone tell me you love me for the day? Thank you. I would say you can't make the people you love let them know that you love them enough. I think that there's some people in my life who would differ with that statement, but I tell our son KJ I love him a minimum of 50 times a day, probably. We could say it more to each other even, and parents, right? We could say it even more, like friends, family members.
You could say it to your dog.
We could say it to Pooch Pooch and Kit Kit. Absolutely. You just gotta, because again, you don't know how much time you have on this earth. And wouldn't it be a shame to die and not have told the people you love that, let them know how much they mean to you in that day. It's important that the people who you love know that they are loved, and vice versa.
Lesson 16, don't give up.
That part. Literally, every time you want to give up is when usually the magic of whatever you're trying to accomplish is going to actually happen.
Yeah,
Don't
that's true.
give up. You are literally like one corner, one door, one step away from everything you've dreamed and more. So if you can just hold true to yourself and know that no matter how hard something gets, that you can take a deep breath, drink some water, say a prayer, talk to the universe, and keep pushing forward, you can do anything.
Yeah, exactly. Even when things seem like they're stacked against you, you don't give up, because like you're saying, right around the corner,
yes,
you could be reaching that goal. That could be it.
Incredible.
Everything could be paying off. So don't give up. You might already be at your destination.
It's remarkable how like human beings will get so close and then and then it's like, come on,
yeah,
man.
You just missed it.
Just missed the mark. Lesson 17, get outside.
I think it's great to get sunlight, fresh air, and blue skies when you hit them open doors, right? The outdoors, they're freeing, relieving, and what I say is make sure not to deprive yourself of that goodness.
Absolutely. I literally, like, if I don't see the sun or if I don't feel it on me, I start to feel ill, physically. There's so much incredible healing and wonder and magic that comes from just getting some fresh air. And if you are lucky enough to live on the West Coast, getting that nice hot sun on your skin most days of the year, you will feel like you live in paradise, even if it doesn't look like paradise outside your home. So making sure that you appreciate, again, life is a gift, which also means we have to appreciate the earth that we stand upon and that is here to keep us alive. And so get outside, enjoy it, everyone.
But some people do like that chilly breeze they get on the East Coast.
You know, different strokes for different folks. I'm not part of
that wind chill when it hits.
Yeah. Different.
It's different.
Yeah, that's a different tribe than my tribe. I know
some
my
people
tribe
like that
is
as
out
well.
Sweating in the sun.
All
That's
right.
my tribe.
Okay. Lesson 18. Nutrition is important.
Woo, that part. That's like shade to me, huh? Because he knows that I would stay having everything fried if possible.
Only your lettuce.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to fry a lettuce.
Exactly. Exactamente. So, yeah, you are what you eat, you are what you consume, from what you listen to and from a podcast perspective or audio perspective, as well as what you eat. And when I went to a nutritionist, I don't believe it was this year, I believe it was last year, and we did a change and we reduced all of our gluten at that time, and I really, reduced the inflammation I had and learned that food sits in your stomach like 100 days. So it's really important to think about every time you're eating, because that John is in there for a while. So if you want to feel better, if you want to have less inflammation, if you want to have more mobility in your life, you got to hone in on having a key diet that works or a nutritional palette that works for you, and you should work with the professionals who can help you arrive and get at what you need.
Yeah, I think they can help you with trying to have a balanced diet, and then remind you that there's certain food groups that you should kind of like slow down on and not have too much of, because depending on what you eat, you can have a good or a great week. So just make sure to remember you are what you eat.
Get it. Lesson 19. Give yourself grace.
Exactly. No one is perfect. No one or no thing. Not even the universe.
Maybe
Remember
KJ,
that.
though.
No, because he was made of the universe, and the universe itself is imperfect.
But he's darn close.
You're talking about the multiverse, maybe.
Maybe in the multiverse.
Yeah, and that might be a little different.
Chachu. Yeah.
But your mistakes, they are actually lessons in themselves. So to me, there's nothing wrong with continuous learning.
That part. Yeah.
That's how I think of mistakes.
Who knew we would have church today? Listen. Wait a minute. All right, y'all. So giving yourself grace is something that I've had to like literally say in my head. That's why I thought it was a perfect opportunity to incorporate it into the episode, because as someone who's really had to battle perfectionism and wanting everything to happen exactly how I want it, it's been a lot. So we, like I said, had a baby, had a thyroid taken out, started a new job. We reached over 10,000 downloads and had other accomplishments as well. Did we accomplish everything we wanted to? Absolutely not. But we're darn proud of everything we did do and cannot wait to see what we can accomplish in 2022.
Lesson 20, show your children the best you.
Ooh, yeah. Since we found out we were pregnant, all I've told you is how important it is for my son to be, or my children, he's the first one, hopefully, to be proud of me. I really work hard at trying to be an incredible version of myself. I am not perfect, but having the ability to show him what strength and power and intelligence and cleverness and creativity and all the different identifiers that I would use with myself is showing him the best me.
Our children, they're the best of us, so it's vital to make sure we're being our best selves in front of them. I think they're the constant reminder to do better every day.
Absolutely. And with a bang, last lesson 21, be positive.
Yep. Having a positive attitude, it makes it easier to get through tough situations. I think you can always see the good in life if you're positive, and then you won't miss things by being in the negative stupor and not being able to see what's right in front of your eyes.
Exactly. No successful person I have ever heard or seen, and I've said this before in the podcast, has ever said, I have been successful all due to my negativity. No one has ever said that. No one ever will. It's the positive outlook. It's the positivity that is what's driving their ability to move forward and accomplish their goals, as you can too, because we all have the same 24 hours a day, 365, right? A year, 365 days a year. So at the end of the day, we can do this. We just have to believe in ourselves. And with that, I think it is that time again. I can't believe it. It's coming to the end of our 226th episode of WokeNFree. Quite the episode discussing 21 end-of-year lessons. So now what should folks do, Khalil?
What they should do and what they will do is come back next week for the new WokeNFree Wednesday episode. Make sure you follow us on social media to follow along the conversation, and make sure you tune in next week for WokeNFree Wednesday to join the conversation at WokeNFree.com.
As you know, if you are a person who has a story that you'd like to share on the show, definitely we are going to look at submissions. And, if you are chosen, where do you kind of submit everything? Go to contact us page at WokeNFree.com. That's WokenFree.com. If you want to hit us up on social, find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, LinkedIn at WokenFree. And then sponsorships and collaborations, same page, the contact us page at WokenFree.com.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do share the episode and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for WokenFree Wednesdays. Remember, WokenFree is more than a podcast, it is a way of life. Until next time.
Happy New Year, everyone.